Today, we are talking about how trees talk to each other. And it's a bit crazier than you might think. I mean, it's worthy of making a whole episode about, so it must be pretty interesting, right? We're going to talk about the network that trees are using and then get into the weird stuff. So stick around. When you look at the human nervous system, it kind of looks like a tree, right? All those branches or roots. In fact, the projections from a nerve cell are called dendrites, which comes from the Greek word dendron, or tree. Much like our nervous system's ability to send information throughout our body, we are finding that trees seem to have a similar setup. 30% of the planet is covered by forests, and trees are crucial to our survival as a species. They absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. You know, that stuff that we breathe in. You may have heard of the term carbon dating. While it allows us to know the age of things like trees, it also helps us understand that trees are more likely to live longer, fuller lives in a forest or group of other trees than in randomly placed points throughout an urban environment. Meaning that single tree in your front yard has a higher chance of dying than any tree in the forest behind your house. Why does that happen? A group of dendrologists got together to study the behavior of trees using a method called isotope tracing. This allowed them to track altered carbon dioxide gas that they injected into specific trees in a North American forest. We will call this tree A. They covered other nearby trees with a cloth that would block their ability to absorb nutrients, and we'll call this tree B. And just as they expected, they saw traces of the altered carbon dioxide from tree A in the trunk of tree B, meaning they received the necessary nutrients from their neighboring tree. Well, how is that possible? Well, trees rely on a very important relationship with fungi, and that fungi rely on the trees. It's a necessary relationship designed to nurture each other and survive. The fungi pull sugar from the trees and give back nitrogen and phosphorus. It's a complicated network of life taking place underground. This symbiotic relationship between tree roots and fungi is known as the mycorrhizal network and is unique to different species of trees and fungi. As long as the trees share the same fungi, then it allows for a sort of hive mind lifestyle. Interestingly, trees are able to tell the difference in other species of trees surrounding them by this complex network of fungi. They found that trees prefer to share nutrients with their own species. This is most likely to ensure their survival, but in some instances, they did see cross-species sharing when on the same network of fungi, which makes sense, really. If two species of trees make up a section of a forest, then they need to support each other. If one species dies out, it would leave large gaps, which would allow the sun to dry up the ground faster. And since trees need water, they will support each other to create a broader, tighter canopy overhead. But just how much communication actually happens? Now, this is where things get crazy. Trees that are connected in this network are able to warn each other of animals that are eating their leaves or fruits, resulting in a change in their taste to deter those animals. They can also sense the stress of other trees when major disturbances happen, such as deforestation. The larger, older trees in the group are sometimes referred to as the mother tree due to their nurturing behavior. If a smaller tree is being attacked by a group of insects, the mother tree will send necessary chemicals to help fight them off. If that tree has a branch snapped off, then the mother tree actually knows the difference and sends different nutrients needed to help heal and repair that damage. Also, when new trees or saplings are growing, they are obviously blocked from getting sunlight by the larger trees. In order to survive, the trees within their community will feed them the resources they need. The sense of community among trees is even visible when another tree has died out. As an example, a tree that fell 400 to 500 years ago in Western Germany was still getting nutrients pumped into the stump that was left behind. The surrounding trees were keeping it alive. If you're enjoying this episode and you'd like to see more like this, leave a comment down below on the types of topics you want to see next. Trees don't only communicate underground. They can also detect scents using their leaves and send out pheromones. In Africa, the acacia tree can emit a distress signal to warn others when giraffes are chewing on their leaves. The neighboring trees will start sending chemicals to their leaves to sicken any herbivores should they actually eat it. What's wild is that giraffes know this will happen and will find more trees upwind so the scent can't reach the neighboring acacia. In the case of no wind, then the giraffe will walk at least 100 yards before feeding again, as they know that the pheromones can't go any further. And the tree communication doesn't stop there. When an elm or pine tree is being munched on by leaf-eating caterpillars, they can detect the saliva. So they send out a pheromone that attracts wasps. And these wasps show up, take out the caterpillars in a pretty gross way involving eggs and stuff, but that just shows how much work a tree is doing when we really just see them as stationary objects. When we cut down large groups of trees, known as deforestation, we are not only destroying the trees that are literally cut down, we are disrupting the entire network of trees that are left standing, ultimately lowering their lifespan as a result. Trees are the oldest living organisms on Earth. The Great Basin bristlecone pine has been deemed the oldest tree in existence, reaching an age of over 5,000 years old. Yet, we are over here cutting them down so we can build malls that nobody shops at anymore. They are a crucial part of survival on this planet, and that's for all living creatures. We should show them the respect that they deserve. So how can we help? Well, there are a lot of things that we can do to help trees and our planet. One example would be to choose fast-growing and renewable wood and paper products. And some of those products would be bamboo, hemp, flax, wheat straw, agripulp, and cotton. Also, we can do better to buy recycled products and repurposed wood. It just takes a little bit of research to see what you can do as an individual, and with enough individuals making small changes, we can see a larger impact. As always, thanks for watching, and what did you learn today?